Benjamin Netanyahu, the life and legacy of Israel's most dominant leader. Benjamin Netanyahu was born on October 21, 1949, in Tel Aviv, just 1 year after the founding of the State of Israel. He grew up in a family steeped in Zionist ideology and academic excellence. His father, Benjamin Netanyahu, was a prominent historian and a staunch nationalist. This environment deeply influenced Benjamin's worldview and political direction. The Netanyahu family moved to the United States in the 1960s, where Benjamin, known as Bibi, attended high school and became fluent in English. Later, he studied architecture and business at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology (MIT), eventually earning degrees in both military career and personal loss. Before his academic journey, Netanyahu served in the Israel Defense Forces (IDF), joining the elite Sayeret Matkal Special Forces Unit. He took part in several high-risk operations and was wounded in combat. In 1976, a tragic event forever marked his life. His older brother Yonatan Netanyahu was killed during the famous Entebbe raid, a mission to rescue Israeli hostages in Uganda. Yonatan was the only Israeli soldier killed, and his death turned him into a national hero. This loss had a lasting emotional and political effect on Benjamin. Entry into politics. After his education and a brief stint as a diplomat in Washington and at the United Nations, Netanyahu entered Israeli politics in the late 1980s, quickly rising through the ranks of the Likud party. Charismatic, articulate, and media-savvy, he represented a new generation of Israeli leadership. In 1996, Netanyahu became Israel's youngest prime minister at the age of 46, defeating Shimon Peres. His first term was marked by a tough stance on security and a cautious approach to peace negotiations, though he did meet with Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat under U.S. mediation. First term ended in 1999 after losing to Ehud Barak, and Netanyahu temporarily stepped back from politics. But he returned with force in the 2000s, eventually reclaiming Likud's leadership and becoming prime minister again in 2009. This began a historic run. Netanyahu would go on to become Israel's longest-serving prime minister, holding office for over 15 years across multiple terms. Security, economy, and diplomacy. Netanyahu's policies focused heavily on national security. He was a fierce opponent of Iran's nuclear program, advocating for strong military preparedness and surveillance. He made headlines in 2015 by addressing the U.S. Congress against President Obama's Iran deal. Domestically, Netanyahu promoted a free market economy. Under his leadership, Israel saw massive growth in its high-tech sector, earning the nickname, Startup Nation. However, income inequality and housing costs also increased, sparking public frustration. Foreign policy triumphs. Netanyahu's most notable diplomatic achievement came in 2020 with the signing of the Abraham Accords under U.S. President Donald Trump. These agreements normalized relations between Israel and several Arab nations, including the UAE, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco. It was hailed as a breakthrough, though critics noted it bypassed the unresolved Palestinian issue. Despite his success, Netanyahu's political career has been plagued by corruption allegations. He is currently on trial for bribery, fraud, and breach of trust, the first sitting Israeli prime minister to face criminal charges. His government also faced massive public backlash in 2023-2024 over proposed judicial reforms that critics said threatened Israel's democracy. Millions protested across the country, forcing Netanyahu to pause the legislation. Whether loved or criticized, Netanyahu remains a master political survivor. He's won more elections than any other Israeli leader, formed complex coalitions, and stayed in power even under immense legal and political pressure. His supporters hail him as Israel's protector, a brilliant strategist who put national security first. His critics view him as a divider, someone who prioritized personal power over peace and democratic values. Benjamin Netanyahu is not just a politician, he is a symbol of Israel's evolution, its conflicts, ambitions, and contradictions. From a soldier to a statesman, from a reformer to a controversial figure, his journey reflects the story of modern Israel itself. As the nation continues to face uncertainty, politically, socially, and diplomatically, Netanyahu's role remains pivotal. But whether his legacy will be defined by strength and leadership, or by division and controversy, is a question time will answer.